Chef Santiago, thank you so much for coming
Brother,
on.
My
Appreciate
pleasure,
it.
man. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, of
This
course.
place is great, right?
Yeah, thank you.
It really is. I was impressed when I walked in. I'm like, wow, this is big. This is pretty cool. And beautiful view of downtown San Diego. And if you have any love for the city like I do, you're in the heart of it right here.
Yeah.
So,
It's so
congrats on
funny.
a great
we're,
spot.
we're literally right next to each other, and I walk by Donut Bar all the time. I stop in for coffee all the time because
Sure.
your cold brew is incredible.
No, it really is, right?
Yeah.
So the cold brew, we make it in-house, actually. And we didn't when we first started. Whenever I first had it, I had it coming in from a big coffee supplier, right? And I loved it. But then I'm thinking, wait a minute. How hard is it for me to make cold brew? And could I perfect it? It's a challenge. So I took that challenge on, and now our cold brew, it's like one of our number one sellers as far as drinks go.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. So
That's
thanks for coming in, though. That's awesome.
Yeah, the cold brews. So the cold brew I can do consistently. The
Yep.
donuts I try not to do consistently.
Hey, moderation, brother. Moderation. That's what it's all about.
But they are so good. I mean, when people say Donut Bar, has the best donuts in the world,
Yeah.
I really believe it. And
Hey, I appreciate that. That's what I set out to do, right? So I didn't set out to just be another, donut shop. Whenever I said, hey, I'm going to do a donut shop, I want my donut shop to be distinctive. I want it to set out and be better than the rest. But at the same time, I didn't want to go too far from center as to what a donut needs to be, right? Now, our donuts are very distinctive. Anybody that's seen any donut image on Instagram, they're going to come across a Donut Bar donut. They're very distinctive looking, distinctive tasting. So that's what my idea was whenever I first started Donut Bar. I want to get a product that people will instantly be able to see, recognize, and know, hey, that's Donut Bar right there. And that's what we did, and that's been 10 years ago that we started. This happened back in first day opening March of 2013.
wow.
Yeah,
So what got you into the donut business? Because I know that you were an entrepreneur before this. This
Yep.
isn't like your first, dive into it. But
Yeah.
how did you start Donut Bar, and what gets somebody into donuts?
for sure. So, it's not my first run at running a business and owning a business, starting a business. But the story starts here. I worked for Ritz-Carlton, Four Seasons hotels, right? Hyatt hotels for years. Did everything you can imagine in every one of the kitchens, from the Grand Wailea in Maui to the Ritz-Carlton in Kapalua to where else? The Regent Beverly Wilshire, the Pretty Woman Hotel in Beverly Hills. Worked at all the hotels. And I always wanted to do my own thing. I was never really much to just work at a company, right? There's a lot of need for that, but I knew my spirit wouldn't just have that, right? So here's how we go to donuts, from working at a Four Seasons hotel to owning a donut bar, right? So and creating it and starting it from literally nothing, right? And so I was working at the hotels, and at the particular time it actually started had to have been when I was working at the Regent Beverly Wilshire in Beverly Hills, but I lived in Orange County, okay? I was having to commute back and forth between Orange County and Beverly Hills. And I said, you know what, I just can't afford gas. And this was back, I guess this was 15 years ago, no longer. A long time ago. I'm aging myself right now, okay? This was a long time ago, kids. But gas was still an issue as it is today, right? And commuting. And I said, you know what, I'm going to start riding a motorcycle, and I'll probably be able to save some gas. And at the same time, I said, if I started riding motorcycles, that would be kind of cool. That's fun, Everybody, wants a hobby or something to get into. The problem is that whenever I get into something, I jump in with both feet. So here I go when I buy this motorcycle, and I start commuting on it. No lessons, no nothing. I just said, I'll figure it out. And I did. Well, fast forward, I figured it out so well that I decided that I would end up starting to race motorcycles because I got really good at it. And I said, I'm going to start taking my motorcycle down to the racetrack. And one thing leads to the next. And now's the only date I can remember, 2009, I won a couple of motorcycle road racing championships. So from commuting on a motorcycle, not knowing how to ride it, all the way up to now 2009, I won a couple of road racing championships. Loved it. Loved motorcycles. So much so that I started a business around motorcycles. And that business was a motorcycle rental company, and I had locations all across the country, and we rented high-end sport bikes. Lots of fun. Enjoyed it. But then something happened. In 2009, I won 2 road racing championships. Really proud of that. It was a great feather in my own cap. Anytime we set out to do something and we want to accomplish our goals, I say that's great. But I looked at the attrition, the bills, everything that it took to go road racing. Very expensive hobby, sport, if you will. And I said, as much money as I'm making in my rental business, it's not paying me to go racing. And that's the real reason that I want to continue the business at the time, is to support my racing habits. So it happened in a weird way here, Kevin. In 2010, I was at Las Vegas Motor Speedway on the racetrack in the middle of a race. And for no other reason other than the fact I was done, I was done. Whenever I'm done, I'm done. Literally, I pulled off the racetrack, had a full contingency with sponsorship. There was even a TV show wrapped into it. And I pulled in and I said, I'm done. Maybe it was the stress from the TV show. Maybe it was the stress from just business being a tough business. But something happened to me where I was done with motorcycles. Had eaten, slept it, dreamt it, everything. My kids were around it every single weekend. We lived at the racetrack. And then I was just done. So I hung up my leathers and said, now what do I do? I want out of this business altogether. Sold the business, didn't want anything else to do with motorcycles. Some bad stuff happened with motorcycles. I have had friends and acquaintances and fellow racers, injuries, deaths, all that sort of thing, everything you'd expect. But that still wasn't the catalyst to it. I just was mentally exhausted and done with motorcycles, so I wanted to give it a break. I'd done that for, I guess, 10 years, right, with the rentals and the racing and everything else. So I said, I want to do something different. And I thought of all sorts of different ideas and ways and things I could earn money. As an entrepreneur, we always know the grind never stopped, right?
Yeah.
So I said to myself, what can I do? What do I want to do? And I did a little bit of soul searching. It's kind of funny that it led me to donuts, but let me tell you how that happened. That was your original question. You see, I go on a long road trip here with you, right?
That's good.
But it's easier to explain if I just get into the details of it, right? So everything was great. I said I need to figure out another way to earn an income. I have a family. Luckily, I have some money because I had a decent business and I was able to sell it and I was able to do okay. So there wasn't a big rush into it. But no matter how much you save and no matter what kind of lifestyle you lead, if you're not earning every single day, it's going to run out. And I knew that was happening. So I said, what can I do? So I'm looking at everything. And I did a little soul searching and I said, what makes me happy? What is it that I enjoy? Well, I want a business that, I like kids. I dig kids. I have 2 boys of my own. At the time, they were 9 and 11. And I loved everything about all their little buddies, all their school events and all that. So I thought, I want to do something where I can have a bunch of kids around. That's kind of cool. And then I said, let me lend on something that I have experience with, and that was as a pastry chef. What can I do? Cupcakes back then were starting to fizzle out. I said, I don't want to do a cupcake. Well, I used to make wedding cakes. Maybe I'll do wedding cakes. Not really a bunch of kiddos around, and I don't really get to interact with a whole lot of people because I'm a people person. I love having people around, So then I said, what about donuts? Imagine if I did a donut. And I said, that's kind of cool. We'll think about it. Well, still a longer story. So then I get on a motorcycle, and even though I want to get away from motorcycles, I wanted to clear my brain, so I'm on a rental Harley Davidson, and I'm driving up north through Northern California, not a long tour, but 600-700 mile tour. And it was a cold morning, and I hopped into a donut shop to get a warm cup of coffee and a donut. And there it was again, donuts in my face. I'm like, I'm cold, it's wet, it's Central California. And I said, I'm going to get a donut. And I looked at the shop owner, and they looked like they were pretty darn happy. And I was like, all right, shop owner, happy, enjoying life, all right. Little do I know how much work it was, but I'm like, they faked it really good because they look really happy. They were just tired, that's all. It was just exhaustion on their face that I mistook for a smile. Darn them. So either way, I said, they're doing a good job. They're making some great donuts. These are hardworking people, and they're making some good donuts. I wonder if I could perfect a donut. And I came back from my trip, and I said, you know what? I'm going to perfect the donut. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to look. At the time, I've moved around a bit. I lived in Manhattan Beach at the time. So I looked for, first off, a location. Like, where would be a great spot to make a donut shop? I looked in Ventura County, San Bernardino County, LA County, Orange County, San Diego County. And I came to downtown San Diego. And I asked everybody here, where's a good donut shop in downtown? And now this was 2013. Sure, there was Google, but I Googled everything, and nothing showed up. And I was like, come on, there's got to be a donut shop hidden somewhere in downtown San Diego. Lo and behold, there was none. Wow, that's weird. 7th largest city in the country, and there's not a donut shop in the downtown area? Come on, what's going on? So I met with a couple of realtors, looked on a couple of places to buy some real estate or to lease some real estate, and lo and behold, I found this place here on 6th and B that was available to rent. And I said, you know what, I bet the rent's going to be too high downtown. And I was kind of bummed whenever I found out that the rent wasn't too high. I was bummed because I'm thinking, shit, there's nothing stopping me now. I've got to do this. So I hadn't made any donuts in years. The last time I'd made donuts was at the Regent Beverly Wilshire, and that was just for staff. There wasn't clients ordering donuts back then, which fast forward to today, I get so many orders from every hotel there is, from the Pendry to the Hyatts to the Marriotts. Everybody's ordering donuts, right? But back then, donuts weren't that big. It was just something I made for fun for employees. So where were we at? So I found this location. I said, you know what, I'm going to go home and I'm going to try and make some donuts like I used to. Well, the problem is making donuts at home. I don't care who you are, your donut's going to suck. You can't make a donut at home. You just can't. They suck. You can all try, but don't burn your house down either, okay? Fire's scary. We'll talk about that. Just because you can't get the temperature right? You can get a big pot, you can get all the oil you want in it, all the shortening you want in it. It's just not going to work. But I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and I cried, and I cried, and I tried some more. And finally I said, you know what, I think I got something. You know what, let me concentrate on the glazes. So I started making a bunch of glazes. Well, by the time everything came together, the lease was available for me to sign. It was time to move in. And I said, all right, let me move in, and then I'm going to order all of my equipment, and I'm going to start making my donuts. And I did that. I didn't open the doors for a month after I had the lease. I had everything in place. I had employees. Everybody's on the payroll, but I still wanted to make my donuts. And then I finally decided on the date. I believe it was March 16th. And I said, you know what, March 16th, we're going to open these doors, come hell or high water. And I did. Well, here's the biggest problem. I didn't realize what the demand was going to be. All right, this is 2013. The only marketing I did, and I think this page is still out there, I created a Tumblr page, right?
Really?
I put it on Tumblr. Wasn't that it? It's a Tumblr page, right? Actually, I take that back. My son, Chris, who was 11, made my Tumblr page. Didn't you? Yeah, yeah, he made my Tumblr page. And so I did that, right? And we made a Tumblr page, and I put a little sign in the window saying, you know, rising soon. Well, lo and behold, that morning, it was a Thursday morning, we opened up. And I made about 300 donuts. I was like, wow, that was a lot. That was a lot of work, man. 300 donuts, right?
Yeah.
And they sold out in 20 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah, so we opened up to a line. 20 minutes later, they were all gone. I said, whoa, 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 this is bad. This is bad. The next day, I said, you know what? We have to regroup. I don't even have enough supplies to make 300 more donuts, and I'm going to probably have to make 600. So we closed the following day. So we can call it our soft opening, if you will. Even though I didn't expect it to be just soft, I was ready to open. I was like, every day I'll make 300 donuts, we'll be good. No, so I made 600 donuts for Saturday morning. Closed Friday, 600 donuts for Saturday morning. 45 minutes, you better believe they were all gone. So I had to close Sunday and Monday and really reevaluate what we did. So it was open, close, close, really step up everything, learn new processes, how to make more donuts, bigger quantities, and bigger mixers, bigger everything, right? And then we opened up that Tuesday it was, and when we opened up to a line that was not just down the block. You know, you sat on our same block. It came down the block, stretched all the way down here by your front doors. I couldn't believe it. Now, 10 years later, surviving through COVID, everything else, on a Saturday, Sunday, you'll still get a line down to the end of the block.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, 10 years later. So I always say something, you know, I'm like, hey, I think we make the best donut in the world. I truly do. And you have to. If you're going to do something, do it the best you can. And I do the best I can. If there's anything I can do to better it, I'm going to do it. Why not, right?
Yeah.
It's the I can do anything attitude, right? So 10 years later, here we are, still selling out. We have big lines, and I just can't I can't tell you what the secret is, other than doing the best that you can every single day. So this is something I tell my staff a lot. Here's what I tell my staff every day. So we open up, we have a couple of jobs. Our jobs are, number one, to make donuts. Number two, to sell donuts. Everything else in between, let me take care of, right? Me and my staff are going to make the donuts. My other staff's going to sell the donuts. And everything else in between, it's just business, right? We're going to make it happen. But At the end of the day, all we need to do is make sure that we're prepared to open up those doors to the customers, and that once those doors are open, they're going to get 5-star service. I invite anybody out there that's watching this podcast right now, listening, look up Donut Bar San Diego. Look at our Yelp. It's unbelievable. 5-star review after 5-star review. And here's the thing. Have you looked at it?
I looked at it today, and I'll just real quick, I want to say.
Yeah. I'll let you get one word in.
Damn near. No, it's good. It's good. It's damn near impossible to get a you're at like 4.8 out of 5, which is just like, and most Yelp reviewers, in my personal opinion, leave 3-star reviews, right?
Yeah, lots.
It's a weird mix.
Yeah,
so the fact that you guys have almost a perfect reputation on there means that your reputation really is almost perfect, and I don't know anybody that has a better reputation.
Right. So I appreciate that. Thank you. And I got to give credit where credit's due. My staff is absolutely incredible. Everybody that helps me make the donuts, everybody who sells my donuts, if you will. My son, he works on the counter. 5-star review after 5-star review. It's amazing. A lot of business owners I talk to, they say, how do I get more Yelp reviews? Man, we're lucky to get 1 a month, 2 a month, maybe 1 a week. We'll get, if there's 7 days in a week, we'll get 10, 12, 15 reviews. On a weekend, it's not uncommon for me to see 3 or 4 reviews every single day, all 5-star, all hitting. But one of the things that's really important, if there's any secret in business, it's this. And I've said it for years, but it's even more so right now. It's more pronounced. Where everybody's fucking lacking is customer fucking service.
Yeah.
Push the customer service, you guys. And don't just push it half. Don't go halfway through. Go 100% in. And that's what we do. We go 100% in, right? I tell my staff this. There is a lot of pride that you have to take into being a servant. I'm a servant. When we clock in, we're servants to whomever that customer is. Take pride in it. Don't let that be degrading. Let that be a plus positive. Like, I take pride in what I do. Here's my staff's biggest problem. After they've been with me for a few years, especially the front of the house staff, right? My frontline staff. They get so fucking bummed going to other restaurants because they're not getting the service. They're not getting the attention.
Yeah.
You know, this is all stuff that I learned working for Ritz-Carlton, Four Seasons Hyatt Hotel. The customer is always right. Yes, yes, my pleasure, absolutely. Think of a Chick-fil-A, my pleasure, absolutely. Those come from Four Seasons. I don't think Chick-fil-A started that. It's Four Seasons motto, or Hyatt actually. The 3 steps customer service, I forget what they were, but one of them was, the customer, it's my pleasure, always. We can do whatever we want to do. So for instance, I'll give you a quick for instance here. You like your coffee, right? You like your cold brew. We get a lot of specialty coffee orders. I know because I'm a regular guy too that goes out, and sometimes I'm stuck going to a Starbucks. They make good coffee. They got a good product, but is it my number one priority to support a Starbucks? Not necessarily, no. One of the reasons why is whenever I go to Starbucks, and if I want something special, I'm not going to get an absolutely no problem, my pleasure. I'm going to get man, my job's hard enough, and now you're going to make me do a this and a that and this? Here's the funny part, man. We encourage it. We love it. I love to make a drink that's right. My staff loves to take that order. And trust me, sometimes you do want to roll your eyes. You'll see this cup with all these directions on it. There's 10 steps to this coffee. It's like, you're only paying $4. What do you want? But that's on the inside voice. The outside voice, this is a challenge. Let's make this drink. And if I'm going to make the drink, if my staff's going to make the drink, we're going to make it the best we can. And I tell them little things like, act like you're making it for your mom or your dad coming to visit. Act like it's for your husband or your wife that's here. You're going to give some donuts out? Act like you're boxing that up for your family, where here's the pride. This is where I work at. This is what I do. Small little customer request. Don't blow them up. For instance, empowerment. Each one of my employees is empowered. You come into Donut Bar, you get the wrong donut, you get the wrong order. Anything can happen, right? Rarely, but whenever it does, you can't be perfect, but what you have to learn to do is apologize really, really well. Now, to do an apology really well, that means you do it instantly, immediately, and you go over and beyond what that customer's expectation was. So the last thing any of my staff will ever do is if somebody comes in to complain about whatever, wasn't enough sprinkles on my donut. Example, there's always sprinkles on the donut though. What are you talking about? No, but if they come in and there's not enough sprinkles on the donut, the last thing I want to hear as a consumer, as a customer, a guest in your establishment is, let me get my manager. What the are you talking about? Are you saying I didn't describe my problem enough? Now I have to think in my head, how do I describe it even more severe, more dramatic to get my point across to the manager now?
Right.
No. Instantly, let me take care of that. Boom, boom, boom. You have a sprinkled donut you're not happy with? Well, here's 2. Boom, done. Instant, immediate gratification, and we go over and beyond anticipating what their needs are. And then it's not condescending. It's like, is there anything else I can get you? Don't forget, there's some forks over there, some knives over there, there's some napkins. Take as many as you would like. You ask for extra sauce. We do sriracha, and boy, I had to buy a lot of that stuff. As soon I watch all the food news, and as soon as I heard that, and I'm like, oh, what's the shelf life on it? Boom, we're ordering 10 cases of it. Boom, it's there. So if you want sriracha, hit me up. $20 a bottle. No, I'm joking. But, little things. If a customer says, can I get more sriracha? It's not like, oh, it's a 25-cent charge. Oh, it's a this. Oh, it's a that. Nah. If you're in customer service, you open the doors to the public, the devil's bound to walk in. But guess what you meet them with? All the holy bells, right? Like, we're here, buddy. You can't mess with it.
Right.
So that gets right back to all of our Yelp reviews. Yelp, TripAdvisor, Google Plus, or Google, all of them. TripAdvisor, for instance, the #1 bakery in all of San Diego for 10 years running. The #1 bakery in all of San Diego. There's some, I don't know what the number is. It's a ridiculous number of bakeries. That's not just San Diego downtown. That's the county-wide.
Right.
The #1. Yelp was the 20, I'm aging myself here. It wasn't that long ago, before COVID, 2019 or 2020. No, 2019, top 100 business leaders of North America. So it was cool that Yelp recognized me. They brought me up to San Francisco, flew me up. I got to meet the CEO of Yelp, was treated like a king for a whole Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Picked up executive style at the airport. I felt like a big shot.
Yeah.
But it was really cool that Yelp identified those top 100 business leaders in North America, and they recognized it. And, getting to Yelp, for instance, right? I respond to my Yelp reviews. I love them. We have learned to grow from our Yelp reviews. Somebody doesn't like something, does that mean I'm going to change it? No, maybe not. Mostly not, because it's pretty good what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
But we take it all. We take that feedback, man. You have any questions?
No, this is really good.
I just run with it, bro. I'm sorry.
No, please continue.
Maybe it's the mimosa.
Continue. So I do have to say that every time I go into Donut Bar, the line is usually pretty long, right? Like, it takes a little bit of time to get through there.
Yeah.
And for like a coffee, like, I could easily order from Starbucks and order from the app,
they're
in,
closer
pick
to
it
you.
up.
Yeah, they're closer to you.
I mean, it's kind of, you guys are right there.
They're
But
closer. They're 200 feet closer. Why are you coming to us?
the service that I get from you guys is absolutely top notch, and Starbucks is known for good service. Right? Starbucks isn't like
no. They're not fly by night. No. They're good. Yeah, absolutely.
So the fact that when I walk in, everybody always says, "Hey," they try to build a relationship, a genuine relationship, and have a genuine smile.
Kev, I'm so happy you understand and you're seeing that and you've got that feeling. That's exactly what we try and get, man.
I think everybody feels that way.
That's good. This is what I tell my staff too. There's a lot of training that goes on. We're not just selling donuts there, right? I've got a lot of younger staff, and most important to me, the staff that I have on, that I'm trying to mold and build, is the dude sitting here to my right, my son. I want him to learn. There's no better learning than he's getting watching how this sincerely 5-star business operates.
Yeah.
The things that we do. So my staff knows that the average customer, once they get greeted by the first person inside Donut Bar, is only on that line for 2.5 minutes, right? So we're talking not a whole long time. My idea with my staff is for them to build that relationship in 2.5 minutes. So it's like speed dating, if you will, but speed relationships. We're creating bonds with customers within 2.5 minutes, all the while they're selling donuts, right? And my staff understands their job is to sell donuts, right? They're not getting commission-based or anything like that, but I tell you, the tips they walk away with, sometimes they make more than I do. Man, but their tips are ridiculous. It's so good. I'm so happy for them.
Yeah.
But here's how I judge how great that customer experience was. Once that customer gets down to the end of the line and now they're finally checking out at the register, whenever I see them starting to pick up merch, whenever I see them not wanting to leave the cashier because they want to do it all over again, I know we have built that relationship. One of the coolest things is whenever I'm walking through, and I'm there 7 days a week, don't make any mistake about it. People might see the flashy lifestyle on the Instagram life. I got the Ferrari and the motorcycles and the cool house and all this fun stuff. But legit, 7 days a week grinding, boom, boom, boom. But I love what I do. That whole expression saying, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. It's bullshit, because I work every single day of my life. But I enjoy it, man. That's the difference, right? But we have only a few minutes to create those relationships with those customers. time and time again, now I'm speaking from a decade in business. I have so many customers that come in. Just had a guy yesterday, a family from Italy. We were here 5 years ago. We thought about nothing but donut bar. Once we got to San Diego, we knew we had to come here. Here's a photo of us 5 years ago. Let's take another photo, and I love posting those up. It happens all the time. Somehow, some way, we have created this experience where people come in. It's not just about the donut. Now, you have to have a good product. And you've heard this expression before. You can have the best product in the world, but unless you're willing to stand up on the tallest mountain and in your largest voice scream it to the masses, stay home, go to bed. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Don't wake up. So I know every single day whenever I wake up, I'm going to scream to the masses. And I'm going to tout what I have. And yeah, it might be a little braggadocious, but if you have the product, you can back it up. Do it. 100% do it. There's never been a better time to be in business, in my opinion. We have so many avenues of marketing, getting our name out there, getting people to get excited and be, what's the word I use? This mimosa's talking to me right now. where they become testimonials, right?
Yeah.
The reviews, the customers talking to people.
And I think the locals sell Donut Bar a lot too, because you
man,
give
do
the
they.
experience to the people that live downtown.
Yeah.
And then we live in San Diego, so mom, dad, cousin, friend, college roommate, whatever is coming into town. Dude, we gotta go to Donut
Gotta
Bar.
go.
Everybody. We just had my girlfriend's family
Dude,
in
and I
town.
appreciate it, and I see that all the time. And that's the thing is, you want to be able to share something that's fun and that you can depend on. In any business that somebody's starting, you have to be certain that you're able to give that customer base dependability and accountability. They have to know that they can count on you. Think about it. If you went and you had a bad experience at Donut Bar, let's say you came 5 times and 2 of the times were kind of shit. You wouldn't be as excited to bring your friends and family in. Because you're like, what if it's one of those shitty days? We have no shitty days.
Yep.
You can mark my words on it. Write it down. Hashtag no shitty days. It's the truth at Donut Bar. We don't. And here's one of the other things. We're on stage. My staff knows. In the back of the house, we have signs that say, smile, you are on stage. I don't care what boyfriend problems you have, husband, wife, dog died, that sucks. We're going to all powell around after shift and have mimosas and talk about it because that shit sucks. But right now, we're on stage. Let's get out there and let's perform. Let's do it. Let's crush it. And it's this, you know, you got to build your team up every single morning, every day. We have pre-shift meetings, right? Sometimes I'm late and they don't get a pre-shift, but I know that they're working off of yesterday's pre-shift, right? And we have a small post-shift. I want to get them out the door because they have their lives to live, right? But we build it up. Not talking about the food. The same thing happens with my bakers and my decorators, right? I have a huge culinary staff because we're producing, you know, we'll do 3,000 donuts on a weekend, right? That's a lot of dough to produce, right? So, and you know, the Pendry just had we get special orders all the time for 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 donuts, right?
Yeah.
But we're never going to be a place that's just mass manufacturing. Even though that number sounds like a lot, they're still all handmade, hand cut, hand decorated. We don't even have the simplistic machines of like, there's these manual machines where you can glaze 30, 20, 15 donuts at a time. We don't have those. Each one's hand dipped, hand loved, hand decorated. And that word that I just slipped in there, love, if my staff doesn't have the love for it, go home.
Yeah.
Dude, they have to love their jobs. If they don't like it here, they're going to taste it in the energy, the food.
Yeah.
I have a story I tell. Go ahead, please.
I just want to say
Yeah.
that is something that I think that people don't take serious enough is
Yeah.
the attention to detail, not just the attention to detail in the way it looks and
Sure.
the way you make it, but the actual energy, the physical energy that you're producing around food. I don't know how it works, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when you look at cultures that enjoy their food and they're not in a rush, they sit down and they enjoy it, and it was made with love, like you
Right.
said. There is
Yeah.
a different digestion that happens.
Dude,
I
it happens.
believe that.
And not only does it happen when you're making it, which is really, really important. And like I say, a lot of my staff has been with me for 7, 8 years, right? I just had somebody who was with me for 10 years, and they just literally retired, which is good for him. I think he retired, but then maybe he got offered more money to do a skyscraper job. I forget what it was, but he left. But he was with me for 10 years. I miss him. No, I don't. No, I do miss him. But either way, he's gone. So the thing is it's not just with the food. It's all with the preparation of food. It's also with that final service with the food, right? How you're feeling as you take that food away once you start consuming it. I always say this to my staff. This is part of our training. I say, listen, think about the best whatever dish you like. For instance, what's the best dish that you like?
Pizza.
Pizza. Think about the best pizza you've had, right? The best pizza you've had. Now think about that service whenever that pizza was delivered to you. Did you have it home delivered or did you eat in a place, in a restaurant?
Yeah, Italy.
In Italy, okay?
Yeah.
Now then, that pizza was fabulous. It was good. But I guarantee you something else happened. That customer service delivering that pizza was also good and memorable.
Yeah.
Wasn't
You're
it?
completely right.
I'm completely right, because here's the deal. That same pizza slice could have been just tossed in front of you,
Yeah.
and the person walked away. Suddenly what happens is your brain is souring your taste buds literally. And it doesn't matter how great the reviews are, how beautiful the place is, who you're with, what kind of fun time you're having. You can be laughing and having the greatest time with friends and family. And now you're looking forward to a slice of pizza, and it was dropped in front of you, and the chick walked away, and you're like, I want it, and she's ignoring you. Or he, and you're like, duh. Okay, and then, nope, no service.
Yeah.
I do it with steak, right? I love a steak. And whenever that steak, if it's slid across the table and it's sizzling and it's hot and it looks great, and I'm like, I get a steak knife. Knife, and she's gone. I'm like, dang, this is an expensive steak. This is, this is a $48 steak I'm looking forward to. And next thing you know, I don't have any knife. Instantly, and it's happening, my taste buds are souring.
Yeah.
I don't care how damn good that steak is. And you know what? The shittiest part is you got to think about how much energy went into marketing to get me into that place to sit down and order a steak.
Yep.
It's not about my steak. Talk about your pizza. What did it take for you to get there? You flew on an airplane, thousands of miles. You were looking forward to that slice of pizza. That's part of what made it so good. You were looking forward to it like crazy. You're like, I'm getting a real slice of pizza. I'm going to Italy, baby.
Yeah.
Imagine if it came back to you and it was shit.
Yeah.
Or the pizza was good, but the service was shit. It's going to sour everything about the experience. We talk about that a lot at Donut Bar. People look forward to, and you can see it on our social media. I hear about it daily. We've been thinking about coming. We were coming to California. We said, we're going to San Diego. We got to try this Donut Bar place. Or we tried you, and we had to come back. We made our trip to San Diego again. This is part of our family's legacy and history now. We do this. It's part of our traditions, if you will. And they're doing it like we were talking about earlier, whenever you bring friends and family in, because they know they can count on it, right?
Right.
So getting back to it, you have to give your customer base commitment that they can come in, and that is going to be just as good as it was the time you experienced. But here's the caveat to it. You set a high standard, talking about Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton, Hyatt hotels. We don't get everything the way we want, we can really be let down quick.
Right.
So the same happens at Donut Bar. People are so looking forward to it. They're reading the TripAdvisor reviews, the Yelp reviews, 5-star after 5-star. And then next thing you know, dang, it wasn't that great for whatever the reason was. It's easy to let people down, right? So like I tell my staff, and you've heard this before, if I have bad staff, bad front of the house, if they're not happy being there every single day, I beg them, please find another job, please leave. I want you here, I want to mold you, but some people are unmoldable.
Yeah.
So if you're not happy here, please leave, because there's so much that it took to get that customer in the door, so much they did. Little kids making deals with their mom. I cleaned the garage, I cleaned my bedroom, I did this, I did that, I fed the dog, I ate all my vegetables last night. All these things riding on that experience, right? So we got to make sure that we hit all those high notes once they get there and not let them down.
Yeah, that's really good. And to speak to the experience that is Donut Bar, one thing that I really love is you park your Ferrari right outside.
Yeah.
You got the door open, kids are sitting in it,
Right,
people are taking pictures. People love that.
Dude, it's fun. It's fun.
Tell me about your passion and obsession, you can call it, with Ferraris.
With my Ferrari. I love Ferraris. I've loved exotic cars since I was a kid. I heard somebody say not long ago, and here's a great thing, right? We all have social media, TikTok, Instagram. There's so many great inspirational quotes, right? It's like every day somebody's throwing a Chinese proverb book at us. Like, read this. And it's like, all right, I'm reading it, I'm watching it, and it's great. So the thing is I find myself wanting to share kind of the success that I've had with this. And one of those easiest ways to share that success is sharing the Ferrari, right? So every weekend, actually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I park my Ferrari out in the front of the shop, leave the windows down, door open, and I invite anybody and everybody to hop in it. Kiddos, adults, moms, dads, grandma, grandpas, anybody. Speaking of dads, it's become a tradition now. On Father's Day, we give rides to dads. Not kiddos. I never give kiddos rides. I never give moms rides. I'm sorry, moms. But it's donuts with dads, and it's Ferraris for dads. And they line up, And my dad comes in, and it's funny because I'm a dad too, right? So it's we're and I express this to them. We're always like, I say, oh, we're giving rides out, and we have a sign now. But before, like, hey, we're giving rides out. Like, oh no, take my kid. And I'm like, no, this is Dad's Day. But isn't that a great thing? That's the way we are as dads. Like, no, you first. Go, son. Please. I want my kids to enjoy this.
Yeah.
But I put on the brakes, and I was like, no, pump the brakes here. This is for dads to go and experience it. And I tell you, the dads, they love it so much. So it's not just hopping in the Ferrari. We're doing hot laps.
Yeah.
And CHP's called $11.99 Foundation. Good one to join it.
I've seen the border.
Oh yeah, dude,
the border
you have
on
to.
The plate.
You have to,
yeah.
and it's a good organization too. Sincerely, helps the fallen officers of CHP and families that are in trouble with any law enforcement issues that their law enforcement employees had. So good foundation, $11.99 Foundation. I've supported them for years, and it's not just because they're Ferrari and the benefits. But so either way, yeah, definitely. I like putting the Ferrari out in the front. I love people to experience it. I'm hoping to inspire, right? Where it's like, hey, yeah, you can own a donut shop and you can own a Ferrari. But here's the caveat to that as well. Back in 2013, there was one of two cars parked out in front. It was my PT Cruiser or my 2005 Jeep Wrangler that was spray painted black whenever I bought it and had all 4 unmatching wheels. Nobody wanted to hop into either of those.
I bet.
But sincerely, so a lot of people think, and they see this Ferrari, right? And they're like, this guy he must come for money, right? Furthest from the truth. My inspiration was, I was a kid. I lived up in the San Fernando Valley. Didn't come from anything, right? The most meager of means you can envision, yeah, that was me, right? As bad as you can imagine, growing up without any wealth at all, that was me, right? Yeah. And I remember walking, and I think that's created who I am and where I am today, right?
Yeah.
I will never stop the drive to succeed and to accomplish. And there's a ceiling to it. I mentioned that earlier, but before we're on air, where I don't need to go all the way up. I just need to go up high enough where I'm feeling comfortable and I'm having a good time, right? So I remember as a kid, I'm walking to the San Fernando Valley, and I saw this Lamborghini Countach. God, had a poster of it in my room, as all of us did back then,
Yeah.
I was 11 years old probably. And I saw it, and it was at a auto repair shop. And I was like, wow, I bet you I can sneak over there and touch that thing, and no one's going to catch me. And sure enough, I did. I walked over to it, and I remember, and my son's heard this story a million times. I walk over to it, and I put my finger on the wheel, and I picked it up, and it was silver. It was because they're metallic brakes, right? And that's the first time I'd ever touched it, and I was like, even the dust shines.
Yeah.
I love that. That set it off for me. I knew one day I'm going to have an exotic car. And so my first exotic car was, not that's too exotic, but at the time it was a Lamborghini Gallardo. Loved it. And I've always wanted to share it. Just from that day, right? Knowing like, wow, what it inspired me just to touch the car. So now I fast forward, I'm like, man, imagine if I let little kiddos hop in the sucker. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Hop in here. And my son does the same thing to him. He's like, no, get in there. And he always says the same thing he says to the kiddos, like, no, grab the steering wheel, grab it. Because it's really, it's a race car steering wheel. You know, it's beautiful carbon fiber and leather and has a bunch of buttons and controls on it and stuff. So, in fact, he knows this well because, and this was, as a dad moment, kind of a fun moment too. I got to and I tell the story a lot. You know where I'm going? Prom. I let him take it to prom.
Oh, you lucky.
That was pretty cool.
The Gallardo or
the Ferrari? The Ferrari.
Okay,
Yeah. No, he took the Ferrari to prom, and that was pretty cool.
That's
I'm sure
awesome.
his ex-girlfriend will always have to remember that too. Like, my boyfriend prom Ferrari. Her new boyfriend will never like that. Sorry if you're listening.
Love it.
But no, man, we just have a good time for sure. I love what Donuts has been able to. It's built my character and who I am.
Right.
And I walk around town and I'm known as the donut guy. It's kind of fun. It's kind of cool. There's a lot of things to be known for, right?
Yeah.
You're known for all of your real estate marketing and people recognize you when you walk around town. It's kind of different and cool to be recognized. I guess I don't help matters much whenever I'm walking around town with bright pink Air Force Ones on and my chef's uniform, you know what I mean? And this flashy Ferrari. But I enjoy it, and it's all about just creating the vibe, right?
Yeah.
And sharing that success as much as I can.
I love it. So now I know that some celebrities have popped into Donut Bar. I know you were mentioned on Ellen. I mean, there's so much that sort of is attracted to Donut Bar. Can you talk about some of the celebrities that have been in?
Yeah. We've had a whole bunch of people in. I'm horrible at spotting celebs, so I count on my staff for letting me know.
Yeah.
But we've had everybody from John Cena come in there, Ryan Seacrest, who else, Chris? I forget all. Ludacris. Ludi, he was really cool. Ludacris comes in. His buddy, what's his buddy's name? His actor buddy. His dad was. You see, you're stumping me right now. I'm sorry, I forget his name. Ludacris's buddy. He's famous too, and his dad, Eastwood. What's his first name? The
Clint
son.
Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood's son. Yeah. I forget. We're
Alexa,
getting that name.
what is Clint Eastwood's son's name? Alexa, what is Clint Eastwood's son's name?
Clint Eastwood's sons are Scott Eastwood and Kyle Eastwood.
Scott.
Okay.
Scott. So
Thank you, Alexa.
Scott happens to be a really big Donut Bar fan, and they were doing some show down here. They were hanging out together, Ludacris and Scott Eastwood. And next thing I see on my Instagram, they're talking about Donut Bar, and I'm like, what? And somebody forwards it to me. It's like, look at these guys. They're just in love with Donut Bar, and they're talking about coming tomorrow. So I'm like, okay, let me reach out, So I reached out. I'm like, hey, you guys coming through? Oh yeah, Chef would love to come in. I hope it's not going to be too big of a distraction, this and that. And I'm like, it's going to be, but come through, And he came through. And here was the weirdest part, man. I set him in the bar area at Donut Bar, and it's he and I, and I'm just like, how's this going to go? How's Ludacris is going to be? He seems like a pretty nice guy.
Yeah.
I wonder if he really is,
Yeah.
And dude, he ends up being just great. And here's the funny part. I said, what can I get for you? I mean, you can see the donuts right there. You point to him. And then without looking, he starts, smart guy, right? Most successful people, these guys, their memories are so great. And he knew. And he had Donut Bar before. But he remembered. He was like, let me get a chocolate euphoria. I'm hoping you got the French toast donut today. Oh, what about the big Papa Tart? Can you bring me one of those? And I'm like, I was blown away, dude, because he was naming the donuts by name.
Yeah.
He wasn't just saying, bring me a chocolate sprinkle, bring me something with nuts on it. He was like, I want the big Papa Tart. Oh, you can get the s'mores one? I was like, got you, bro. Got you. And I was blown away. I'm like, Ludi, what's up?
Yeah.
So sincerely, Ludacris was one of my favorite people that have came in. We hung out. He took pictures with people. We blocked the little area off. There was a bunch of people. I didn't announce it that he was coming in, but you recognize that dude.
Yeah.
We're packed. It's like a Saturday morning, hundreds of people in line, and then Ludacris sitting over at the bar chowing on donuts.
That's
and
so
I'm just
funny.
like on cloud nine, like this is legit, dude. I can't even believe it. So much fun with that. And who else? I've got to admit, the nicest celebrity I've ever met, and I always give him shout outs, is Ryan Seacrest.
Really?
The dude is legit. I was doing a show called The Doctors, and I was like, oh, you guys are going to tear me up on this show talking about how horrible donuts are for you. And they said, no, just come on the show. We'll do you good. And I was like, all right, promise. And they're like, we promise. I'm on my way to the show, L.A. and The Doctors. Next thing you know, Ryan Seacrest people call me, and they're like, hey, Chef, we want you to come on the show, And I'm like, you know what? It's funny. I'm actually in L.A. right now. Oh, you have to swing by. And I'm like, but I've got another commitment. And you know how it is, guys. I just can't. Hold on. Let me call you back. Calls back. Hold on, it's Ryan. He wants to talk to you. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I'm driving. I'm in my Lamborghini Gallardo at the time. I'm driving. I'm like, huh. And, hey, there's Ryan Seacrest. I'm like, dude, this is freaking real. I sell donuts, you know that, right? And he's a fan. He's totally stoked. He's like, dude, I hear you're in LA. I know you got a show. I know where that studio is. It's literally, if you're getting off the 405, you're going to pass by my studio. Pull in. The valet is going to meet you there. He's going to take your car, come up. Whatever we're doing, we're stopping. And I'm like, how can you say no? You know what I mean? So I go up, do the show. And here's my biggest regret. Guys, you got it. When people invite you, do it. We tell my son and I, we see people all over, and we invite them down to Donut Bar. Let us take care of you because they're good people, whatever the case might be, right? Little family, we love them, whatever the case might be. Ryan invited me back because he knew I had to go to the doctors. And he's like, hey, after we finish here, we all hang out. Come back. Hang out with us. And I said, yeah, but sometimes you take those invites and you're like, he's just being a nice guy.
Yeah.
Dude, I was so bummed. I went and I filmed the doctors. And I didn't go back because I'm driving. I'm like, should I? No. He does. Does he want me to?
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about, dude, he wanted me to. So Ryan, if you hear this, dude, I'm down. Let's go. But no, sincerely, a nice guy, man.
That's
so
awesome.
Cool. And we find that, right? A lot of times, more successful people that we meet, they're good people because good things happen to good people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, there's been a few that have snuck through the cracks, you know what I mean? And they made it, and they might not have been such good people.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, by far, the majority of people that I have met, they're really good.
Yeah. Yeah. So you had mentioned John Cena. I've got a funny John Cena story that happened right downtown. So,
Okay.
The coffee place right next door, Coffee and Talk.
Yeah, great people.
Yeah, super nice, right?
100%, yeah.
I'm walking down and I'm going into Coffee and Talk. And you know how they have the seating area outside?
Sure.
So I'm walking and they have the chairs that sort of face, to the street and to the door.
Yeah.
And I see the back of this dude who's just jacked,
Yeah, he
sitting
is.
in a
Yeah,
nice suit. And I didn't even see his face. I see the back of this guy's head and I go, that's John
You
Cena.
recognized him. That's funny.
I
That's
didn't
cool.
know that he
Yeah.
spent time here,
Yeah, he does,
whatever,
yeah,
right?
Kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I walk by and I look at him, and my family's from Massachusetts. I spent a good portion of my life in Boston.
Sure.
And I know that he's from right outside of Boston.
Yeah.
So what do I do when I walk by John Cena? I don't go, hey, Mr. Cena. I don't ignore him.
Okay.
My dumb ass goes, hey, Boston. And he just looks at me like he just saw the biggest idiot, which he did. And I'm so
Which he did.
immediately, I'm so embarrassed
Yeah.
that I'm like, oh, hey, and
Right,
he's just
right.
like trying to ignore me.
Yeah, he's like, ignore that guy. That guy's
Yeah.
a creepo stocko weirdo. He knows where I'm from. He knows way too much, and
Yep.
he's being Boston on me right now.
Yeah, he was like,
You went total Boston on him.
yeah, it wasn't even my voice. It was like the grouch came into my body or something,
Yeah, exactly.
So I get embarrassed and I just walk inside and I get my coffee and I'm standing there and I'm looking through the doors and he's looking at me and he's trying to ignore me.
Yeah.
And he's sitting with his girlfriend.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, if I was him, I would be so pissed. People probably come up to him all the time. They probably just feel like he owes them something. So
go on. I'm sorry.
yeah. So while I'm standing there, I'm thinking, man, I gotta apologize. I gotta do something because
Yeah.
I'm not this guy.
Yep.
I don't care about celebrities either. It was just
Sure.
like the Boston connection. I
Yeah,
think.
and you're like, I know this guy.
Yeah.
I got connection there. There's a
Yeah.
connection. Let me talk about the connection.
Yeah. So I get my coffee and I go outside and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna walk by him and I'm like, no, I can't do that. So I walk up to his table and I look at him and he's ignoring me. Like I'm standing right here and he's just. He finally kind of reluctantly looks over and I'm like, hey, I just want to apologize. You don't owe me anything. I imagine this happens all the time. I completely fucked up. Just want to say I'm sorry. I hope you have a good day. And
That was cool.
Yeah, and I'm thinking he'd be like, all right, yeah, And he was like, that's actually very, what do you say? That's very empathetic of you. How's your day? And then we just started
That's
talking.
cool, bro.
Yeah,
That's
and
cool.
He was so nice. And
That's
then
cool.
I'm like, all right, I really wanted to take a picture with him, but I'm
Sure.
like, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, am I gonna press this?
can't-
I'm gonna press it right now.
I can't be like, hey, sorry.
Did
by
you
the
take a
way.
picture with him?
I didn't. No, but I walked back in here, and Donald, who's in that office,
Yeah.
I go, hey, John Cena's at Coffee and Talk.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, dude. And I'm like, no, John
Like
Cena's
he's
down
there
there.
right now.
And he's like,
Yeah.
what? And
John
I'm-
Cena. He's like,
yeah.
no way.
Yeah. So he kind of perks up and he gets down and he's looking at me like because we fuck around a lot.
Sure,
He
yeah.
doesn't quite believe me, and he goes and the last thing he says as he leaves the office, or last thing I tell him is, do not take a picture with him. He's not going to want to take a
Right, right,
picture.
right,
He's
right,
like,
right.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. And he comes back up with a picture.
I got a fucking picture of him.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah, but
No, it's cool, man. And I love meeting celebrities. I don't stalk them myself, just like you are. But I think what happens is people just want to form, just as you did, some sort of a connection with them. You know what I mean? Because the thing is they're out in public, the public eye, I should say. Then whenever they're out in public, we instantly we feel like we know them, right? We feel, and I'm sure people that recognize you, even though you don't know them from anybody, but they've followed your podcast, they see what you do, they know who you're about, so they feel this connection with you right away. So it's kind of a weird thing, right? Like, I always put myself on this really micro San Diego celebrity thing,
Yeah.
where it's like, I'm a little bit known in San Diego, so it's kind of odd sometimes, and I enjoy it, I appreciate it. Please, if you see me, say
you
hello.
are
I
a
enjoy
San
it.
Diego celebrity. Everybody knows you.
It's
So
kind of, thank you, I appreciate that. But people have these relations with me because they're following social media, or they're following Donut Bar social media, and they get to know you, but you don't really know them. But that's what's really cool about this day and age, right? Is we can make so many connections, and we have to always realize, man, our connection with people is a lot stronger than we actually think it is today.
Yes.
So a lot of people say, oh, social media and this and that, where it's pushing people further apart. Not really, dude. It's bringing people together because we know about people. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even my own son, we share more stuff, and we work together, but then whenever he's out, I'm sending him what I'm doing, he's sending me what I'm doing, and dude, the connection's even stronger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I love social media, and I've got to say, social media definitely helped create Donut Bar. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the social effect of everybody sharing, because the first thing people want to do is they want to share these donuts because they're so unique, they're so cool.
Yeah.
And then you have the donut, mural outside that people
Sure.
are taking a picture with, and the whole experience, the Ferrari, everybody wants to share that, which just spreads like wildfire, which is really, really good. I wish that donuts were healthier because I would be there every day.
No. Moderation is key, right? And remember this, everybody out there listening, the center of the donut is the healthiest. 0 calories, 0 fat. It's like eating air. It actually is. Air sucks. So eat the donut.
You should sell an empty bag that says "Hold of the donut for sale, 0
I'm
calories."
gonna say, bring this over to you. That's what it's gonna say.
That's awesome. So you had mentioned that you had quit in the hospitality industry to go chase your dreams.
Yeah. Race motorcycles. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically everybody in the world, I think a majority of people, are not where they want to be, and they don't know how to get there.
Right.
So if somebody is working a job and they know inside them that they deserve more, that they are capable of more, but they don't know where to start. I was in that position.
Yeah, we all have been.
What would you tell somebody who is trying to go chase their dreams, but they're
Right.
not sure where to start?
Right. Okay. First off, don't be foolish. Okay. You have to make certain that you have your bases covered, meaning you have money to survive on, you have rent. Don't do the thing where you're going to be, I'm chasing my dream, so now I'm couch surfing or I'm living in my car. That's not the way to chase your dream. Chase your dreams, you got to start off on a good foundation. Okay? So maybe you don't have that foundation right now. Build that foundation first. Make sure if it's a 9 to 5 that you need to build the foundation, go get a 9 to 5. Who cares? You have to support yourself first. If you're not willing to take those steps, what makes you think you're going to be successful in business? Bullshit, you're not. Lying to yourself.
Yeah.
Sleeping in your car is not working, bro. There's a few stories we hear about it. Dude, they're far and few between. So the last thing you want to do is borrowing money from my parents. And I see a lot of people talk about that. No, borrow. Friends, you have a great idea. Follow your dreams. Fuck that. Do not. Do not borrow your way to prosperity. You cannot. Just like you cannot save your way to prosperity.
Yeah.
So and like I say, I love working with my son for this. He saves. The boy saves. Save some money. Get a little nest egg built up, right? I'm not saying not to chase your dreams. Your dreams are going to be there, right? You're never too old to start your dreams either. I mean, we've all seen it on social media. The biggest billionaires in the world, they're not in their 40s or 50s, some of these guys, before they start making their money, right? So there's time, okay? Time is going to be on your side. Build that foundation first. Make sure that you got your rent covered, your phone bill covered. Don't go into debt with a whole bunch of people. If you can start without any debt, better in life. Borrowing money is a big, big no-no, in my opinion, unless it's you're borrowing in the real estate world, right? And you're doing all these financial moves. But good debt. But if you're just, if I can just get my family to scrounge up 50 grand for me, I can start my coffee shop. No, make it happen. Because if you're willing to make it happen on your own and truly earn it and make it happen, then it's going to be it's going to show your determination to be successful.
Right.
Right? So I get a lot of people that ask me for money. You can imagine, right? Just because I'm kind of out there, right? I get emails and text messages and can you support me here and can you support this and that? And it's people I don't even know, some people I do know. I made a golden rule, I don't borrow money out.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yep.
And this is what I say. And it's something that I created on my own. I heard it. And I forget who it is, but somebody once said, whenever someone comes to ask you for money, borrow money, ask them, what do you have for sale right now? You have something I can buy? Before I'm going to hand you some money,
right?
What do you got? What's in your garage? What aren't you using? Well, I got this bicycle. Not in the market for a bicycle, but, sell it to me for $200. I'm going to flip it. I'm going to sell it for $500.
Right.
Or if you really want that money, put it on OfferUp. Put it on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Go get the money. What's around your house that you don't need? Yep. If you are willing to come and ask me for money, what sacrifices have you made?
Yep.
What have you sold? We all have got tens of thousands of dollars of crap laying around our house.
Yeah.
If I have to go make 10 grand tomorrow, you better believe I'm on OfferUp.
Yeah.
And I'm selling some stuff. This just recently happened. An acquaintance I knew asked me for money. And I legitimately said, send me your OfferUp. I don't have one. Why? Everybody should have an OfferUp.
Yeah.
Sell stuff.
Yeah.
It's easy. You take a picture of it and you sell it, and you meet somebody on your way to work. Have them come into your job. Who cares? Here it is. I made $20 today. Woo! So but to follow up, chase your dream. Do it, but build a foundation first, and don't be afraid to make the jump.
Yeah.
Like I make the jump in with both feet.
Yep.
Whenever I started riding motorcycles, next thing you know, I'm racing motorcycles.
Yeah.
When I started Donut Shop, next thing you know, I have Forbes Gold Standard of Donut Shop, USA Today's #1 donut shop in the country, Yelp, blah blah blah, every review station there is, the #1 donut shop in the country.
Yep.
But you have to start with that foundation. Remember, I'm that kid from the San Fernando Valley that touched the Lamborghini Countach.
Oh, I love it.
Dude, like there was $0, and I've got the whole poor guy coming to a new place with 2 suitcases. I literally moved to Hawaii with 2 suitcases and a one-way ticket and $600 in my wallet.
Yeah.
That's what I did. So I say don't couch surf, but I had 600, and to me back then that was a lot.
Yeah.
And I got a job the very next day.
Yeah.
So you have to build your foundation, right? And don't be afraid to work. Like I said earlier in this podcast, being a servant, take pride in that. We're all servants. You're a servant to your company. You're a servant to your clients. Take pride in it.
Right.
So many people, their egos are so big. My son and I, we talk about this often. Their egos are so big, yet undeserving.
Yeah.
You don't deserve to have a big ego yet.
Right.
I don't have an ego. It looks like I do on the outside, but I also just get this. You are the least egotistical person I know. And I'm thinking, you saw me pull up in a Ferrari, right? It's like, how am I not egotistical? I got a flipping Ferrari.
Yeah.
But it's how you handle that Ferrari.
Yeah.
Right? You see cool guys driving in their cars, their Lambos, their Rollses, and they have this big frown on their face. Dude, if you see me with a frown on my Ferrari, it means something broke.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm happy, bro.
Yeah.
I'm in a Ferrari right now. You kidding me? Life is good. I'm blessed, So, but people, follow your dreams, do it, run with it, but make sure you build a foundation first. Make sure if you don't build that foundation first, dude, it's not going to work.
Yeah. And it's funny because now my business is doing really great and I get people that ask to invest in the business.
Can I borrow some money?
Yeah, no, not even that. Like
no, me. Can I personally borrow some money? No.
But people will I'll buy some donuts.
Thank you.
But people
Every donut counts.
People will try to invest money into it because they know it's making money.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because we don't need it now. But when I needed it, I shouldn't have had it. And I went to one of my friends who is really, he's got some money.
Yeah.
And I always look up to this guy. He was a mentor of mine. And I remember when my business was doing okay and I had a vision for it. I knew it was going to work. And I told him, if I just had $30,000, I could do this, 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 and this. And I had a plan for it.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and he was like, I love you, but you do not need $30,000. You need to get your ass back to work. And he was so
see, that's what I'm talking about.
And he's still a really good friend of mine.
Yeah.
And that was one of the best things. At the moment, I'm like, bro, you've got millions of dollars.
What's 30 grand to you,
you know
dude?
me,
30's
right?
nothing, bro.
Yeah.
I'll pay it back double.
Yeah. And if he had given me that $30,000, I would not have learned the lessons that I needed when I was backed up on rent, when I was broke, getting my car repoed, all of that. So
we've all been there. That's the thing. I've had cars repoed in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 22. You better never get your truck repoed. You're in so much trouble. That's my son.
You made the mistake, so he doesn't have to.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And we've talked about that. We talk about finances. We talk about how to take care of yourself. How to make those payments, get those payments done, double up on your payments, all that good stuff.
Yep.
And that's what you've learned too. Your back was against the wall.
Yep.
But had you just been gifted that money, regardless if you had a note on it and you had to pay it back, it would have been given to you. And you're not going to work as hard or trust it as much. I've seen it time and time and time and time again. People that, and I'm like, a little part of me's like, dang, they got lucky. That dude just dropped them 500 grand, $1 million, $2 million, whatever. And then I check back in on them, it's like, that money's gone.
Yeah. It's a blessing and a curse.
Goes. It really is. It just goes. So you have to learn to build that foundation. Follow your dream, but build the foundation and stack on that, because all those lessons that you're learning, they're going to pay off just like it paid off to you. You know your finances now. You know how to make things happen.
Right.
And you probably sell stuff on OfferUp. I do. Look at my OfferUp. It's Santiago Campa OfferUp. Buy some shit.
You have donuts on there?
No, I don't have donuts on there.
Hilarious.
I have a sewing machine on there. I have some really cool Anarchy wheels for a Ferrari 488. If you want those are nice. They're on there. think I listed at 12 grand, but they're like 36 with tires.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good deal. So if you have a 488 and you want some Ferrari wheels, I got them. Yeah, I just got random stuff, not just high-end stuff like that. And it works. I like OfferUp. I buy stuff on OfferUp. You know, there's deals to be had.
Yeah.
You know, and it doesn't matter how much money you have, how much bread you've got. If you can get a deal, you get a deal.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it at all.
Yeah. And if you got something sitting around, just sell it.
Just sell it, because you're going to pay storage on it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You're going to, next thing you know, you have the storage center, you know. So, and that'll help you start those entrepreneurial dreams,
Yeah.
right? And there's so many people that talk about just flipping things. Now, I'm not flipping stuff. I just get, when stuff's old, I'll put it on Instagram, or not Instagram, on OfferUp. But I have so much more stuff that I should do. So practice what you preach. I'm going to go home and I'm going to start posting some new stuff.
Love it. Thank you so much for coming by.
Dude, it's my pleasure. Lots of energy in here. I see why you're a success. You know, energy begets energy, and you've got it, right? So
Thank you.
I appreciate it, bro. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me on here. Donut Bar at Donut Bar SD. That's our verified Instagram. 631 B Street. Come down, check it out, grab a donut. It's truly the best donut in the world. If it's not, then I've been lying this whole time.
Thank you so much.
Brother, appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. That's a wrap.